Okay, Sistas fans. Now, this video, I don't know how I'm going to title it. Maybe I'll do something like Zach is too passive or Fatima's too aggressive or both. But I've mentioned this in another video before. I think I did a video specifically, stating that Zach and Fatima need to work together. Now, here's the thing with that. Yes, Zach does seem to be a bit too passive where he just feels like his problems will go away if he just ignores them long enough. But he has issues that definitely need his attention and definitely need to be taken care of. Now, yeah, child support stuff. But here's the thing though. I think that there needs to be some form of like checks and balances between Zach and Fatima. Now, what I mean by that is the fact that, think of it this way. There are a lot of times where we see Zach and Fatima in situations where one is very concerned about the other. Well, I think, here's the thing though, I think more often than not, Zach is the one who's, and I'm not trying to say one loves the other more, but I'm talking about based on what we've seen. I think that Zach tends to be more worried about Fatima's emotional well-being, whereas Fatima's concerned about Zach's, I guess you could say, like, financial and just his life in general. Like, Zach, you can't ignore your problems. You got to face them head on. You can't keep running. It's like Zach runs away from his problems in real life. Fatima runs away from her emotional problems, because of past experiences. Now, here's my thing with that. Yeah, Zach needs to handle his business, but more often than not, I've always said this, like, most of the time, Fatima's the one who starts shit when it comes to sister circle, or let's just be honest, Karen related stuff. Zach knows the games that are played, like, oh, Pam called. I know she's probably trying to start some stuff, so if Karen calls, don't answer. But then Fatima decides to do it anyway, and when things go south like Zach predicted, all of a sudden he's the one who's at fault. And I mentioned this on my live stream yesterday, like, what if Karen goes off and starts calling Fatima names and everything? Is Fatima supposed to look at Zach to stop it? Because remember, Zach said, look, don't invite her over here because you do that, things are going to pop off, and no, it ain't going to go. And like Fatima's like, no, we need to do this. And like I said at the beginning of season 5, it's always Fatima knows best. But then when things go south, she gets mad at Zach, even though she's the one that warned him things would go south. So I don't really understand why people think that Zach needs to shut things down all the time. People are like, he needs to do something about Karen. What exactly is he supposed to do? What exactly he's supposed to do? Even if she got like a damn restraining order, it won't stop her. And yeah, it's messed up, when your woman's called out of her name. But when we all know how Karen is, when she starts running that mouth, she's going to run it. You can't get a word in, and then she just leaves. That's how it goes with her. Now, Fatima was the one that said, well, technically, I think Zach was the one that said they should meet at the house. But then in last night's episode, he doesn't want to meet at the house. And then Fatima's the one that insists they do. So I'm very confused with how that's working. But all I'm saying is this much. I think there needs to be more of a teamwork dynamic between the two as opposed to a one does all the work. Like, for example, like, I didn't like how Fatima showed up at the hotel, but then again, when she showed up, shit got taken care of because Zach was, kind of told by Fatima, go over there, do what you got to do. But the thing about it is, he went over there, but then it got to the point where he didn't want to sleep with Tony because I felt good for Zach. I'm like, you know what? That's good. He loves Fatima so much. He doesn't want to sleep with this woman, even though he knows his financial stability and possibly jail time is dependent on him sleeping with her. But no, he says, do what you got to do. I ain't sleeping with you. Then Fatima comes in and, fixes it. But the thing about it is, Fatima, it's like every time she tells Zach to do something and he's like, fine, I want to handle it. It's like she doesn't trust him enough to handle it himself that she comes in at the 11th hour to handle it. And by, the track record, Zach doesn't really solve shit. Fatima comes in to finish things up. But there needs to be more of a unity between the two. And I'm not talking about sexual or anything. I mean like in how they handle things. Because more often than not, when one of them decides to do something themselves, like, I got a plan to handle this person, I got a plan to handle that person or this scenario, it usually is a temporary fix or it just makes things worse. That's what I think. So you could say that Zach is too passive, but I think Fatima is a bit too aggressive and assertive. It's almost like they both need a little bit of what the other has to bring to the table. Like, Fatima's quick to, shoot first, punch first, and, ask questions later. She needs to kind of let water run off her bat like a duck, like Zach does. But then again, Zach doesn't have the best track record of letting things go because he lets things get to him. But based on everything he's been through with Karen and whatnot, you can understand why he would be up in arms whenever her name gets mentioned, for example. So I think that, Zach and Fatima need to be they need to go to counseling. They need to, be better as a unified couple, because right now I just don't see it, Sure, they got each other's backs, but usually it's like one is just pushing the other one forward as opposed to guarding their backs. So let me know what you think. I think a lot of their issues could be handled if they both decided to step up. Zach reeling Fatima in as she goes too far, and Fatima lightly pushing Zach forward if he tries to back away from a situation instead of confronting it head on. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one.